She asked me if I was in a serious relationship, and I replied, well, it isn't any fun, and sometimes it's just not a good experience. Let's be honest, who likes online dating? It feels like we all dread it, but we're not coming up with something better. So think to yourself, do you have difficulty with the dating? Do you have a horror story about online dating? Who here has been ghosted? Who here thinks the process gives you a good match to even start with? Quick show of hands, who's discouraged by the whole process? Let's see if we can change the rules of engagement and meet each other in person. Let's see if we can be organic with. Let's see if we can have some agreement about the rules that we play by. Let's see if we're able to go beyond winging it and have strategy and planning help us make it a better experience for all of us. Dating has seriously changed in the last 10, 15, 20 years. I think that we need to do more in person, less texting, less phone, less FaceTime. Otherwise, everything's a blind date. I'd love us to have a feeling of community, of having each other's back and looking out for one another. Not a duty, but more of a sacred calling to be there for each other. Maybe we do owe each other a little bit more than we think. Maybe you and I won't work, but I know a guy who would be perfect for you. And you know a woman who would be perfect for me. Imagine holding ourselves to higher standards and holding one another accountable. I would love to see us change the culture of dating. If we each behave with honor, we improve the culture. We increase the odds of treating each other with respect and not harming one another. If I harm you, then you harm the next people you date. They harm me. I harm them. We keep going back and forth. Or imagine a bunch of people who want to improve their conflict skills, their communication skills. They come together to learn them, practice them, and then they mingle afterwards. They support each other when there's discouragement. They lift each other up. Not a support group per se, but just a good listening ear, a good sounding board. I've made a bunch of handouts for people who want an overview of dating topics. They're on my results tab of my website, boicecounseling.com, BOICE counseling.com. Lots of good information. Helps with dating, building conflict prevention, conflict resolution skills. Those are important for relationships, not just dating. Imagine being direct with one another, letting the person know what you want, what you liked, and having a natural feedback loop. So much less pain in dating with those. Improving communication goes a long way towards having better relationships. Now we practice the skills. Set yourself up for success. In that vein, How to Not Die Alone by Logan Ury is a great book. So much good couples research in it. All the good Gottman stuff. I highly recommend you get the book and consider her ideas about healthy dating. Try them out, experiment with them. For example, Ury asks, do you have a ritual before you go out on a date? Do you put yourself in the mood for a date, setting it up for success? Some people take a warm bubble bath, some people work out. Do you watch comedy or listen to comedy and then go out? Or do you arrive unprepared and then need some time to warm up? Think about the date itself. If you're the one suggesting it, there are a few options, and if you're creative, it could be fun, rather than feeling like a job interview. You don't want to dread the date. You want to look forward to it and want to be like play. So what's a good date activity? Does it always have to be coffee, drinks, lunch? Could it be a walk or an activity like volunteering, meeting at the amusement park, going on the kids' rides, meeting at the playground? What's a good location? What's a good environment? And remember, it's not an interview, but you still want to get information from them. The first one is called a meet and greet, and then after that it goes into dating. I've heard different people refer to it differently. I like the idea of a meet and greet. We're not on a date, we're just getting to know if we like each other and whether it's worth going out on a date. Dating is a place to see if you can be friends. How'd you make friends as a kid? Not by asking them if they'd be a good friend. You start playing. You jumped in. Over time, you figured it out if they were a good fit. In the dating world, there's not really the equivalent. So what's the closest? Well, let's start telling stories about your life. Tell me about your life. Let me get to know you. If you're getting to know me through stories, maybe I need to look at the stories that I want to tell. What stories do I want to tell? How do I tell them? How do I highlight my character and who I am in those stories so we see if it's a good match? I don't want to keep going out with you if we're not a good match. That makes no sense at all. That's a waste of time in my world. There's a separate talk just on how to tell a good story. What do you want to know on date 1 or the meet and greet? Make sure you're listening for that. What I want to know on the meet and greet is, should we actually go out on a date? Don't overthink it. Just ask yourself if you'd like a second date with this person. Logan Ury talks about defaulting to everyone getting a second date, unless there are deal breakers. Unless they're flying red flags, date 2's a given. It's just a better practice across the board. Why? You don't know much after date 1. People are nervous. The setting could make you see them differently than they are. At date 1 or the meet and greet, you're only looking for red flags. Another thing that Ury talks about is please stop looking for chemistry, butterflies, spark. Those have nothing to do with long-term relationship success. So if you want long-term relationship success, stop looking at chemistry as the be-all, end-all. Those are notoriously poor predictors: butterflies, chemistry, the spark. So choose wisely who you're with. Are you looking for the charismatic, good-looking, fun person, the prom king or queen? Are they already dating several people? Are you looking for the cheerleader or the high school quarterback who flirts with you and makes you feel special? Or are they already with someone or several people? Are you looking for someone else? Are you looking for someone who's kind, loyal, good with conflict, and can handle emotions? Hey, by the way, that's what predicts long-term success. Let me say it again. Loyal, kind, good with conflict, can still be kind during conflict, and can handle their emotions. That's what predicts long-term success. If that's what you're looking for, that's what you're looking for. Counterintuitive, right? Want long-term success? Change what you're looking for. Ask yourself, how do I feel with this person? Do I feel good about myself when I'm with this person? Do they bring out a good side of me? Check this out. Since we look for the negative by default, you have to train your brain to look for the positive. Actually write down what was good about them. Our critical brain already spotted their faults. Train your brain to look for long-term success, not a one-night stand if that's what you're looking for. The second date is now the default. You're not looking for a soulmate, some Disney princess or Disney prince. You're looking for a long-term, healthy relationship. Maybe romance in there, but not the romantic ideal where it's the fairy tale that's not realistic. Looking for a soulmate has some challenges. Oftentimes people think that a soulmate is just there and they don't have to work at it. That approach rarely works in a long-term relationship. What is the work that's required in a long-term healthy relationship? Not the fairy tale from Disney. Logan Ury also says that we quickly rule out too many people way too soon. On what basis are you ruling them out? Looks alone? Those are deceiving. You don't know what's going on behind there. I have had multiple women look much better in person than on their profile. Maybe the first photo that was showing wasn't a flattering look. Or maybe this particular person paid a professional to shoot it and they have filters and they look better than the others, and then when you meet them in person, they don't match their photo. On what basis are you saying that it's worth contacting them the first time once you see the photos? Maybe spend a little more time with people who you would normally exclude. See if they have the ingredients for a successful relationship. I'm not saying force it, but be deliberate. Don't rush to judgment. Don't jump to conclusions. Check it out first. Don't text ad nauseum. Go out on a date early in the process. If you wait too long, the person you made them out to be in your head does not match the person that you meet. You hear that over and over, and they've done a little research on that. The longer you wait before meeting them, the more of a story in your own head. So you created this person in your head. You created all these stories, and they don't match reality. And then you're mad at them instead of taking responsibility for making the story up in your head. Waiting too long is a bad strategy. Meet them in person soon. Make sure that you have accurate photos. Make sure that it's a slow burn, not looking for chemistry. Not the sparks. That doesn't seem to work out. Again, sparks, chemistry, butterflies, notoriously poor predictors of a good, long-term, healthy relationship. Are they emotionally stable? That's what you're looking for. Are they kind? Are they loyal? Do they do conflict well, meaning can they be kind even when they're upset? Do they know when to take a break? Do they know not to follow somebody when they're taking a break and the person needs to process? How does your nervous system feel around them? Think about yourself and your own process. How quickly do you misjudge people in this? Can't possibly know the answer in the first date or the meet and greet. A pet peeve of mine: date 1, date 2, date 3, the person is wondering if you're going to have sex or if you're going to kiss. You can't possibly know the person in 2 to 3 dates. But you're basing it on chemistry, notoriously a bad predictor of long-term relationships. Chemistry is often absent in the first 1, 2, 3, and that spark is often anxiety. Butterflies are often anxiety. We misjudge anxiety as, ooh, this person is right for me. With some people, chemistry is a slow burn. It grows with some people as you get to know them. Now that I see your personality, I'm more attracted to you. Chemistry on date 1 is likely infatuation. It's fun, but not a good predictor. Many married couples in my practice did not hit it off initially. As they got to know each other, the person became more attractive to them. Are you actually looking for a relationship that can work? When they research chemistry, they look at where did you meet, what activity did you choose. The activity and the location are often more important than the other person. Are we meeting in the right places? Are we doing the right things when we meet people? Get creative, set it up for success. Not skydiving or cooking them dinner at your house, maybe a little bit less pressure. Again, give the person a second date unless there's a deal breaker. Some people like to go out for coffee in the morning, and then the second date is maybe drinks in the evening, so you get to see what they're like in the morning, and at night, with alcohol, without alcohol, with coffee, without coffee. Some people attach a bit too fast and scare the other person away. Some people go right into thinking about relationship, not dating. The skills you need for dating aren't the same ones that make you successful in relationships. Some people are looking for an exit. Any exit available. I'm done. What can I do to be done? And they break up before you're even together, before they even gave it a chance. So Ury calls that a ditcher. The other person is a hitcher, someone who's always looking to attach. Well, okay, good enough. Let's do it. Okay, I wonder what our babies are going to look like. Okay, I just met you. Or I had somebody say, okay, I live in Texas, but I'd be willing to relocate for you. All right, in our first conversation, that's probably premature. Think about the beginning. The whole beginning of online. Who is it that you're looking for? I have a whole talk just on that. Now think about the profile, the write-up. I have a whole talk just on that as well. Use your words, though. Write it for them, not you, your target audience. Think it through. Think before you write. Write something that actually makes sense. Be coherent and have people check it out before you put it online. The profile photos. That is what gets you the like or not like. Choose those photos with care. Hey guys, if you're a guy and you post fish pictures or pictures with dead animals, that's cliche. A high percentage of women report that that's a turnoff. Same for the boat, truck, or photos with your shirt off. Dick pics? Definitely a no. Unless she directly and specifically asks you for that. Unlikely. Even then, I would recommend against that. What's your dating strategy? There's also a talk for that as well. We suggest that you date up to 3 people at a time for the meet and greet. So you put your profile online, you talk to a bunch of people who contact you and you contact them, and you go out for a meet and greet with several people, and let's say you do 3. Let's say you do 3 this week, 3 meet and greets. Any of those 3, somebody that gets your interest enough for a date 2. Are there red flags, or do you give them a date 2? You can talk to more people online because you're seeing who fits, almost like a funnel. When people date more than 3 people, you don't savor them. You don't really get to know them well. Be honest and upfront that you're meeting several people, you're talking to people online, And expect the other person to be upfront as well. You're not exclusive at this point. That's an unrealistic expectation. Tell them what you're looking for and ask what they're looking for. That itself is often not a match. Do that via text before even meeting. Better yet, have it on your profile. Are you someone who wings it and lets things slide? Or do you make plans and have a strategy? We tend to, when we see something that's important, we tend to have a strategy. Do you decide or do you let it slide? I think you might like the book. It has significantly more than I just told you. Please stop believing myths. Chemistry and spark are myths. They simply don't predict long-term relationship success. It's that easy. People mistakenly believe the myth and therefore make bad choices about a second date based on chemistry. Instead, go for the slow burn. Unless you're in it for a one-night stand, but then be direct for what you want. Look for the person who has a track record of loyalty and kindness, emotional stability, and the ability to listen during conflict. Can they be kind during a conflict? The person who makes you feel calm and peaceful, not anxious,